Instead of asking if Americans are vaxxed or unvaxxed, the real question to ask is, are Americans being poisoned? In the wild, when they want to depopulate and sterilize a large group of animals, they usually inject one animal. And then that one animal infect the rest of the animals. So technically, and according to the science, it doesn't matter if you're vaxxed or not. As long as the gain of function allows one injected person to transfer and infect another person, and that person infect another person, eventually everyone will be affected in one way or the other. People are dropping dead around here, and nobody's talking about it. They're dropping dead suddenly and unexpectedly.
The funeral services for Diamond and Silk were held over the weekend, and there's her sister there picking up where they left off with some of those COVID conspiracies, comparison of folks being killed off, the way that they do animals, crowd control, population control, all that continuing on. I guess Diamond would be proud, but this whole service wasn't just about COVID conspiracies, It also opened up, as I mentioned, Donald Trump was there. It opened up a little bit political grievances that, of course, he dove right into. First off, starting with the fact that he didn't want to be there very long. In fact, how dare you guys keep me for 3 hours? Let's let Donald Trump complain about how long he had to hang out.
I don't believe, they told me, I said, give me a little time, because I have a lot of people waiting for me back in a place called Palm Beach, Florida. They said, give me a little time. What do you think it'll take? Oh, about 15, 20 minutes, in and out. I said, well, it can take longer. This is a little longer than 15 minutes, right?
I've got people waiting for me back in this place called Palm Beach, Florida. Maybe you guys have heard of it. You guys just are these stink folks who live out here in North Carolina. But still, there's more important people waiting for me back at Palm Beach. You guys said 15, 20 minutes. It could have been a little longer, but damn, over 3 hours? Do you know I have more important things to do? The continued disrespect of folks that they use while they're here, and then once they're gone, shunned, tossed, and I guess used a little bit longer in this particular case, is constant. And I'm not sure why folks keep falling for it. As a matter of fact, every time I hear something about this, every time it's something when someone dies suddenly and they're conservative and they've been used for the cause, I think of Herman Cain. And after he died, in I think it was June, July of 20, in August, this is what was tweeted out from his Twitter page after he died. Just in case you thought Biden's candidacy was going to be anything other than completely nuts, Team Trump has released this new video, and there's links and all that stuff. Herman Cain was not here, but they still used him for these purposes of pushing political bias, discourse, division, anything else that you want, campaign politics, all that. Many people are outraged by that. But before I go to more of the things that was going on in this funeral, the disrespect that was going on, and constantly over and over and over again about this person that they cared about. Your thoughts first on this disrespect line, Burbank?
I just don't think under any circumstances a memorial service is the time to make political statements. Also, for him to say, man, I really wish I was in Florida right now at a memorial service is shocking even for someone like Donald Trump. That's just insane. But I really think funerals should be about remembering who that person was at their core. Like, even if your career was political, these are supposedly people who are close to you, who you love, who should just be remembering you, talking about who you were at your core, not trying to make larger statements about the COVID-19 pandemic, about vaccines or anything else.
Absolutely, but for some reason, I guess because they knew that that was, her gig, then we can continue going that way. Again, maybe she is proud about that. Maybe she would have been happy to see it this way. But there was more going on here because as we start off with Silk there talking about the COVID conspiracy, she also wanted to make sure everyone knew just how tight of a family knit group she was with the Trumps. It treated them just like one of the Trump children that she couldn't remember their names. Watch.
He treated us just like Laura. He treated us just like the other children, Eric, Don Jr., Tiffany.
Don, that's right, that's his name. It's named after his dad. But still, just like the children, keep that in mind. He's listening to Donald Trump, who spoke after Silk spoke about how close and tight knit they were and how they were treated like family. Watch.
And the world has lost one of its brightest stars, real star. But I see that we have another star who is equal to, but she stepped up and she is different. I'm serious. I thought I knew them both. I didn't. I knew Diamond, but I didn't know Silk at all. I just learned about Silk. You're fantastic.
Maybe he did treat them like family. I don't know who Silk is. I knew Diamond. Like, I kind of know Dom, but Eric, who's that guy? I mean, who knows? It's normal family back and forth situations here. But you know what? There's one other thing though. I want to point out to you guys, in case you guys are wondering, how does it he knew Diamond but didn't know Silk? I wondered the same thing when I watched this video.
And I want you to know that you are making history. That's right. Now, I need you to understand that we not new to this, we true to this. Come on now. From day one. Yeah. Day one. We have been on your side and we've never left it. Yeah. I keep hearing the left talking about they a champion for this and a champion for that. Well, when is a champion going to win? Because they ain't winning. No. Come on now. But we done already found a champion. A true champion. That's right. Right here in our president, President Donald J. Trump.
Did he think that they look so much alike that they're just the same person? I'm not sure. There's two people there. She said multiple times, we, not I. But he had never heard of this woman named Silk, of Diamond and Silk somehow. But still, this is why he was really there. He's who he cared about at that memorial.
How do we stop the cheating? How do we stop it where you get more votes but you still don't win? And the answer is the Republicans have to get tougher. The top people have to get tougher. And you have to really swamp them. There's a level at which even they can't produce. And so if you win big enough, you're going to get there. And then once we're there, we're going to straighten it all out and get it back to where it was.
Oh, that's right. A stump speech about how you lost in 20 and it's everyone else's fault. And how dare they cheat me like this. Jessica, this is one of those things, man. It bugs me every time. And it's blatant. So the folks who are still alive and still supporting these folks, understand if something happens to you and they've used you long enough and they still have some use for you left after you're dead, they're gonna utilize your memory for their own purposes because your existence is there for Donald Trump's glory.
Yeah, and he didn't even know one of them, right? Diamond and Silk are twins. They look very much alike. They work together, they travel together, they visited the White House together, like we saw. They campaigned for Donald Trump, which begs the question, was the former president just constantly seeing double? Why did he assume there was only one? And this also makes me think, when he showed up to the funeral and saw Silk there, was he like, oh my God, you're alive. It's a miracle, Diamond. I can't believe you're still here. I mean, it's ridiculous. And the fact that they didn't do it in a church, I think is very telling. I think if Donald Trump set foot in a church, his skin would get hot and he might burst into flames. But whenever he gets in front of a podium, it's a stump speech, no matter what the occasion is, even a memorial.
If your brain is never off of yourself and your own ego, that's all you'll ever speak about. There's no room for, hey, let's talk about Lynette a little bit here. There's no room for that in his mind. And by the way, I think they're a year apart. I'm not sure if they're twins. They don't look that close together. I mean, they look like sisters, but we'll look it up.